Alright, finally. What is up, guys? We are now back with a new video. I am finally now doing my Super Danganronpa Another 2 tier list. Sorry it took a while to get through. I had a lot of other things come up as the process is going, but I'm finally getting my lazy ass up and I'm finally doing this tier list. So we're here. Finally, let's get this thing started. I don't want to waste any more of y'all time. I'm so excited to talk about all the characters in these games and my entire thoughts about how I felt about SDRA 2. But first, let's go and see who is our first victim. Okay, so our first person we're starting off with is Yuri. So Yuri, I will be honest with you, I love Yuri. It's actually hilarious to think about. And I don't like to do comparisons, but I have to bring this small quick comparison real quick from Danganronpa V3. Tenko was an example of just, she was not a fan of degenerate males. It's funny how in this aspect with Yuri is not a fan of any guy, hates guys entirely. It's so funny how he used that aspect of like, he was just happy to be here. He dead ass was just happy to even exist in a world with many girls. That was really most of his aspect. With him, it's just insane though, how much of a role he really played in this entire game. You wouldn't know until the end of the game that you find out that this man really created freaking Monocrow, which is also Yuri. So I find that hilarious that like his work revolutionized this entire Neo World program that we was playing in this game. Especially that moment with Yuri where he went up, he actually had a crash out moment or a declaration moment where it made me think of him as Nagito 2.0, where he dead ass went around and was like, I know you guys don't like this cold, stuck life we're in this island, so let me use my life to save you. He was the one that declarated himself to sacrificing himself for the girls, just for him to go and die to a guy. I think that was insane that he made that declaration and then he died in the process. And we'll say in a it's a pretty gruesome way, not super gruesome, but pretty gruesome, like for hooks to be on his calf, dragged all the way up, dinged around in that bell and dropped all the way right back down. I think that's just insane to me. So for me personally as a solid A, I can't lie, I think he was pretty solid of a character. Truly, I think his personality and how he was, it was just really funny to me. And yeah, it was very, very sad to see him go. But yeah, dude is awesome. And another cool aspect of why I like Yuri so much too, because it's honestly insane how when this was brought up, I never had thought about it. So I'd spent a little bit of time looking into Yuri's free time events. In the free time events, he talked about how his talent was paid off by his father. He didn't really specifically had a talent he liked at all or anything of that nature. So he was just cool with being an ultimate spaceman and doing training. But on top of that, in his free time events, he talked about, which it also went down later down the line when we got to see how he looked older and all that stuff. And when Monocrow had brought up that he was a next generation symbols of hope and he met Akane Taira back then, and the free time event even also brought into his more natural state that Yuri had Akane Taira was a temporary maid at the time that he had met. And then his dream on why he wanted, because I was like, why the heck did he have this dream about like wanting one single girl to live on for the rest of his life, was because of Akane Taira, because he saw how much joy mature that she was at such a young age and was doing her work. And then it's insane how when he brought up about the past, that she went absolutely crazy, Akane, back at that time, and he was the key. Yuri was the key to Sora's past. If he stayed longer, he probably could have brought up Akane Taira's memories back to Sora faster than we would have ever expected if he was still alive to this day, which I don't know if that was intentional or not, that Mikado had Hajime kill Yuri for that purpose, but you get the idea. So I find that actually very intriguing and very interesting that like he got this dream dream off of the fact that he met a Kanetara as a maid, learned about her past, it traumatized her, and then she said that she was looking for this boy that she couldn't find and trace, which is Utsuro. And then in that process, he got a new foundation of a dream with someone or this dream of when he goes, that single person will remember him by, all because of Akane, which is absolutely insane. So to me, I think he was a solid A tier character. I'm just putting that out there. For the short time he had, I liked him. And then hearing more about his story, about how he met Akane and what he did to develop all this stuff, it's crazy. It just sucks that it was used in such a bad way. But yeah, that's it for Yuri right there. So now we get to Hajime. Hajime is also an A tier. With Hajime was the first void. And why I like Hajime so much, he was very calm, cool, collective. He loved to work out on his body. I love the moments with him and Shinji doing running, and truly was just a vibe. And then getting to more of his free time events, it's interesting to know about like how his backstory, about how he ended up. I mean, you don't know off rip that he's a void at that time, but like his story about how his life was a living hell because he had an incurable disease that he could not live or bring himself to get back into life, to where his family all gave up on him. All the doctors gave up on him, and he was slowly dying. And all it took was the route of Utsuro to bring this man Hajime back to life, and in better shape than ever, became the ultimate boxer and everything. So his motivation to doing the plan of what Mikado had set up for to revive Utsuro, it made so much, 100% so much sense. Truly, I'll tell you, like, that is because at this point he's as good as dead if he does not have divine luck from Utsuro, clear as day, because everything would get reverted back and he pretty much would die in the process. So I loved Hajime, even with what he did to Yuri and everything of that nature. I like how he also, like, the mechanism he did for trial 1 was phenomenal too. Like, he really put his body to the test to be able to test out that rope contraption in the bell tower so meticulously, and was able to use it in such a way where it's like, oh my god, that is a really cool concept of how to do it. It's bad, but you know, I thought it was very amazing. Truly, I loved Hajime, man. I truly do. That man was like, he would have been a true bro, him and Shinji for life. And he's just honestly truly hilarious. You know, when he was in the drunk scene, he was like, hey, you know, you can't all drink. Let me go ahead and get a sip though anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think Hajime was very awesome. I loved him. Very well written character. Honestly, his void motivation was 100% valid. And I also loved this void theater because we got to really talk with him most of the time through void theater, and how he looked back and reflect on, like, yeah, there's many things we possibly could have done. We've done a lot of bad at the time, like, you know, they've done a lot of bad, and he was reflecting on that with Nikei. But when you like think about it more, like, what else could he have done? Like, he was already in a situation to where Hajime was at his breaking point of dying. Like, he was going to die. So like, without Utsuro's help, the plan was gonna be doomed no matter what. So 100% made sense, 100% valid. Love this character. Awesome dude. All right, next we got Kokoro, our chapter 2 victim. Now, I did something different, and you guys can interpret it any way you want to. I had to, personally, I was conflicted. I had to separate pre-Coco that was in the game and the later Coco on a later. I'll talk about that demonic person later, that outside real life Kokoro. I mean, because they're both the same people. But I'm trying to this is why I have to separate them. I low-key felt bad. I didn't want to take what Kokoro's moments did within the Neo World Program game, change what she did outside IRL. It is something in me that wanted me to split them up, because it was like, because I'll be dead ass with you. I'm gonna do this now. I had Kokoro as S because of how smart and amazing she was on analyzing everything as the ultimate psychologist. She was tearing things apart, finding out who voids were. And then when you find her out IRL, it's like everything just fucking diminishes with her. But so this is why I'm to continue on with our regular Kokoro here on this separate. So pre-memories outside, I had a feeling that in this way, just game wise, like we're inside the thing. Kokoro was always observant, always watching everyone's footsteps, always trying to keep an eye on others. She literally came in clutching Class Trial 1. Bro, she figured out the culprit. Honestly, she could have ended that trial in 2 seconds flat, but instead thought, okay, I need to figure out the motive and why Hajime did what he did at that time, and it was honestly phenomenal. Kokoro was the literal GOAT. So long story short, as a character outside, when she was back in her high school days and she's lost all her memories, I mean, she's freaking S tier. Come on now. I love Kokoro in that aspect. Yeah, and she was always curious about like her knowledge about knowing like the basic emotions and like how much. And yes, yeah, free time event was insane, but I truly believe that she probably never would have went through and actually did that if she had Emma by her side. But her death, honestly, 100% justified. And I'll get to that right now. Now I'm getting to Emma. Oh my God, love Emma. I didn't get a chance to hang out with her at all, because I'll be real with you, like the one thing that sucks about this game is that there are certain skills that are better than others, and everyone said Emma's skills were absolute trash, which they were 100% right. Those skills were not. If I had the choice, I would have done some free time events with her, but I just couldn't, because obviously I had to do other free time events so I can get skills for her. But I love how Emma is such a sweet person and is our second void, and her being the second void was also 100% justified as well. So looking back, I went back to her free time event and like on my own time, and I found out that Emma literally was saved by Utsuro, was adopted by a loving family, and that's what kickstarted her career. And this is just trigger warnings. Before, her mother was a not drug addict, but like I think she was a drunkie. Yeah, she was super drunk and was never home. And her father was a straight like a drug dealer or something like that, or was just into so much drugs. Sorry if I don't have it all back in my head like that. With Emma, she went through literal hell. I mean, literally. The father was calling her the name Ashtray, and the father was putting all of his fucking cigarettes all over her arms, and that's why she wears the coat. In the beginning, where they talked about where all of us did swimming in the beginning of the game, where they were like, hey, everyone grab a swimsuit and go out, she could never put on a fully have her own swimsuit. She'd always have to be covered up because her entire arms are just burn marks from the cigarettes that her father was imposing pain onto her for. That is some abusive ass shit. And it makes sense why she crashed out on Kokoro when Kokoro had went deep into her mind and found out about her past, because that past is honestly super diabolical, and she was at a breaking point, to the point of where she wanted to off herself, but she couldn't because she was too scared at that time to do it to herself. So she went through literal hell until Utsuro came through and saved her and got her out of that hellhole and had a loving family. So Emma truly was such a phenomenal woman. I mean, she went out of her way and was keeping the track on Kokoro the entire time, and mainly, I get it, mainly it was because of two things. There was a little truth behind both of them. She was the second void, and she needed to join Mikado's plan because she was not trying to go back and revert back to that past for any reason, which honestly, another void that is 100% justified. She literally needed this more than anything else, because going back and things reverting back there, you might as well say she was already dead too, being back with her father. And so she loved Kokoro, wanted to be friends with Kokoro, was keeping an eye on her, but also at the same time actually built a bonding relationship. So it sucks that she had to kill the way she did, and I'll be honest with you, the mechanism that she used to come up with the murder and disguise herself as Kokoro was one of the smartest things I would never think of. I will say everyone caught on a little bit like, what the hell? How the hell did Kokoro one moment was talking with us and the next moment she's bedridden to the point she can't even speak no more? That was, I mean, I guess, but I just find it crazy how she was able to meticulously plan that and get all those disguises and to be able to use that to her advantage to set up this murder and put her in a freezer and everything, and only lost because Kokoro had the willpower to make icicles and drop that shit on the ground so someone could come up and figure out the message, which I don't know how Kanade was able to do that, but you know, I digress. But I loved Emma. I loved Emma a lot, and in my case, I am putting Emma as a straight A. Honestly, I loved her, and she had some funny like some funny jokes in the Void Theater, but she was awesome. I actually love Emma's character, even though I did not get a chance to know her that well. I know enough to know that she was really advocating and did not want to do what she did. But when you put in a situation where your past is that diabolical, I don't blame her. I think everything she did was 100% justified, truly. And it's the irony of someone that is a victim kills a child abuser. I think that's cinema. Honestly, I think that's fucking cinema. I love the irony of that once you learn everything. So, yep, I loved Emma. Very solid character. Love the hell out of her. Amazing. Now we get to Setsuka. Setsuka, I put her as an A as well. So with Setsuka, I loved Setsuka so much because with her, it's the fact that she went out of her way and was trying to be, she was one of our big bond supporters within the game. She always tried to find a way to come up with a plan to make things more lively. And I'm sad truly that this entire time this was all happening, I really classified her as a void. But because I'm like, she set up the party on chapter 1, and then what did she do chapter 2? Chapter 2, she found another plan to have the twins make a freaking have them do a concert for us, and then that also is what got Kokoro killed. So it was like all these things, I'm thinking to myself like, yo, she's a void, she's doing all this, but in reality she was trying her best to liven up the group. Basically, she wanted to always liven us up, have us in a better mood, because we're doing all this searching, nothing's coming good in our way, and she's trying to brighten up our moods. And then over time, as we got to chapter 3, she started, you find out later on that she was in cahoots with Nikei and was trying to find ways to figure out what was Mikado's plan. She got all that information in chapter 3, was trying to tell us, yeah, don't worry, honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys once I find out the information, just to die in one of the most horrific ways in all of history. I promise you, she died in such a gruesome way, more gruesome than anything else, because her, out of all this game and SDR, out of this game and regular DRA, she has the most gruesome death out of everyone here, with the second still being Kanade and Ori. But I think it's just crazy how much Setsuka was trying to investigate for us, and she has such a cool design eye. I never really paid much attention to it because I was just in the shock of the gruesomeness of her, but for her to lose an eye and then get transplanted an eye that gives you the ability to actually take pictures with a camera, and that's how she was able to research into Mikado, but also she was also a private investigator for the Kizuragi Foundation. Like, that's just phenomenal. It sucks that she lost at the hands of Syobai, because Syobai was just that damn smart. So she lost, and Kinjo did not want to help her and instead took that plea with Syobai, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, Setsuka as a whole was an amazing character, and it is sad how she had died all at the hands of Kanade because of reasons I will bring up when I get to her. God, I don't want to get to her, but God, yeah, I love Setsuka. God, the cast group is just amazing, honestly. Yo, I mean, I just can't believe it. I love her. Yeah, love Setsuka's design. Very cool, calm and collected character. I was trying her best to give us all the morality within the game, trying to lift up our spirits throughout the entire game. And sad to see her go. What I also loved about her too is like she was like an absolute major support for Hibiki, so much that she just had to die the way she did is so sad. But love Setsuka, awesome character. All right, next we got Hibiki. Hibiki is also an A tier. Hibiki, I love the character development of Hibiki within this game. When I first got to meet her, at the time I was thinking to myself like, why the heck is she bullying Kanade so much? And all this time, she was just doing that all in just a playful way. She was very scared throughout the entirety of this game because we was in a situation where like, oh, we're all stuck on this island, there's nowhere to go, what do you do? Which I love about her because it is so damn realistic. Like, who wouldn't be scared? You're in an island that you're stuck in and there's no way out, and now and she just wants to go back home to her family, and now you're just stuck here and they can't tell you that you have to stay here forever. And she cried a lot. She was going through it, was scared of the voids every day, which is why she had some pissy moods at times. But her development, when she figures out the whole void situation, she come to terms with it. I loved it so much. She was trying to lift up the entire group immensely. I loved everything about Hibiki. The only downside that Hibiki has is being born as Kanade's sister. Literally, there is no downsides I had with Hibiki at all, besides the fact that she literally has a demonic sister, because she did not deserve to go the way she did. I mean, she did not. She, like, to be used and abused in that capacity, I cannot even fathom in my mind how that is absolutely possible. It's so defeating. It really is. Knowing her free time events and how much she loves her sister to death, but Kanade used her in such a crazy way is, oh my God, it will always hurt my heart. It will always hurt my heart so much, because she looked at Setsuka as like a pinnacle to her, and then Hibiki losing her is so sad. Love Hibiki's design, very amazing character. I'm very happy that I was able to get to know her from her free time events and to know that she really was. And oh my God, that's another thing that's so awesome about her. Like, her being a next generation symbols of hope was so cool too. Another thing that like really also broke my heart is throughout the entire trial of chapter 3, she got broken to the absolute highest degree with Setsuka's death and was used and abused. And then it broke my heart seeing her run away, saying, let me get out of here, knowing that there was no way out for something that she had no knowledge of committing because of this demonic demon that we'll get to later. So it just hurts. It really does hurt. But I love Hibiki so much. I'm so happy I got to get a chance to know her. I mean, I loved it. So A tier character, love Hibiki. All right, now we move on to Shinji. Shinji is so S. Oh my God, Shinji is so goated, man. God, the amount of things he tried to do. Shinji was like the true bro within this entire game. Everything he tried. It was more despair after despair after despair, and he tried his best to hold up the group in any capacity, to try to alleviate the situation in any way that he can, so that we can all be able to live somewhat of a normal life within this island. Now, it's hard because people was losing so much hope, and it just made things harder for him. But God, I love Shinji, man. Especially, well, first off, I forgot what chapter it was, but there was like one chapter where, like, you know, Yuki was going off on him, and then like he was like, don't you think I know that? I think it was chapter 4 actually. Don't you think I know that? I'm trying my best to, you know, like he's trying his best to be positive about the situation, to try to make amends and make things right within the situation. Like, he can't let the emotions get the better of him or we was all doomed. And I loved Shinji for that. And then his sacrifice in chapter 4 for Yuki was just generational. Oh my God, generational. Literally got his neck cut up. They all the people, Nikei and Yuki, had ran away, scared shitless. And then after all that, he woke up, broke a whole bunch of machines, and let himself get engulfed in fire just to sacrifice and save Yuki. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. It was insane. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve Shinji. We don't. And I loved how when he was brought back up in chapter 6, where we was in Yuki's utopia, and then Yuki felt like he was just at peace. But Shinji knew that you was not supposed to be here, man. You're not supposed to be here. Go back to your life, get out of this utopia and live on. That was such a touching moment, so much with Shinji. Even though he died, even though he felt like he failed, he still succeeded in my heart in so many ways. I love Shinji to death, man. Shinji was amazing. It's just not fair. Like, these characters that are just so good and then they just go in such a matter, it hurts me, man. Was way too good for this world. God, man, what would we do without him? That's the main thing. Like, I swear he was trying to be the support group. He didn't know jack nothing during them trials, but if there's one thing I know, he was all about positivity any way that he can get. I love Shinji though. Love him. So yep, that's an S tier for me for Shinji. Now for Nikei. Nikei is also an S tier character. And here's why. Nikei, he is the someone else was a void before him, but he was basically the final reveal of the final void. And it was interesting how with Nikei at first did test himself. It's funny how in the game he made it seem like, and it was all just a ploy, he made it seem like, hey, you guys, I can't trust any of y'all because y'all all might be void, knowing that he was a void his damn self. And he all did that just to figure out ways on how to get information from Setsuka, so Setsuka can look into the voids or look into Mikado, because he was not a fan of the void plan at all that Mikado did, but he stayed with it because he also wanted to visit this person so he doesn't go back to his tough life, which I'm so curious about, because I know there's a sketch of him that like looks like, I don't know if it's meant to be like neglect of Nikei or if he just had like a tragic past or something, but I really want to understand the meaning of what this poster is meant to be, but you know, I digress. But it's cool how much Nikei was fiddling with everything. He first faked us all out by saying, hey, he wasn't lying. There's some truth to the lie. He said, hey, we are in a near war program and not everyone has died, which if you actually got killed and you felt like you got killed, then you did die indeed. What else? There was, he, talked with Iroha, tried to talk to him, and he said, nope, I don't want to deal with your nonsense. I'm done with you. Guys, I'm going to just treat this shit as my own. Went out of his way to do things all by himself, with using Teruya as like a backup plan during the Tower of Babel to get us all locked up. I mean, he was planning out everything just to ruin Mikado's plan of Mikado trying to revive Yuki to be Utsuro, which in reality he was using it for an entirely different plan that we didn't know of until recently. But his hatred, I don't know if it's inferiority or superiority complex he has, but he had such a dire hatred of Mikado, to the damn point, or not even kill us, because he said he couldn't kill Mikado anyway, but he tried to kill one of us, and then his hand blew up just for Mikado to say, let me add this other rule, and then kill him, and then just killed him off, and lost his because he lost his precious right hand, and then tried to jump up during the execution and fell all the way down because it's like muscle memory for him to use it. Oh god, wow. Nikei was awesome. That truly, I can say wholeheartedly, doubtedly. And his motive, like, I don't know the true motive of Nikei. The only thing I know is he's like a extreme journalist, which I'm just assuming that he just had neglect, and then Utsuro saved him by being able to allow him to be able to do his journalism with well on ease. So wonderful character in Nikei. I love this guy so much, man. Now we get to Teruya. Teruya, I gotta add something for you, my guy. We're gonna do add a row above, and we're gonna call this can't. You're joining along with the squad. So Teruya is in the can't do no wrong column or row, because Teruya is one of the greatest characters of all time. When I tell you that Teruya cannot do any wrong in this game, I am so serious. Everything he did for us, from joining along in this absolute demonic mission with Rei and him, to join into the game to try to stop Mikado, was kept into the game for a certain purpose that Mikado had set up, was freaking phenomenal. He came in, he tried to understand what was going on with the situation. He tried to alleviate it many times, especially with his old Kinjo arc, where he absolutely went crazy in chapter 4 and was like, yep, that's just what would Kinjo do, because he did not know how to handle such a situation where there were so many people that was dying, and Teruya cannot do any fucking wrong at all. I mean, when I tell you he went into this mission knowingly and willingly, like tried his best to find ways on how to contact the Future Foundation, all for it to be null and void because freaking Mikado programmed his man as a damn firewall, And that was the only way that the outside world can hack him, hack the system, just so they could be able to save the rest of the cast. Crazy. And then on top of all of that, going to the Tower of Babel, seeing the statues of Satsuki and Haru, which is why I put him in the can't do no wrong category, because he, in my last DRA playthrough, I had him in S tier when he was, back in DRA, and I put Satsuki and Haru in the can't do no wrong. He's now joining along with them because he truly did not deserve anything that he went through within this game. Teruya is absolutely phenomenal. No one can ever tell me different. He has his moments within this game, but if there's one thing I can say for sure, is he was always looking out for the betterment of all of us in every capacity. He always wanted us to be close knitted, but he just didn't know how to do it because he just didn't understand the situation. But he absolutely tried his best, and it is so sad. It is so defeating seeing him go the way he did, and seeing that Teruya's death footage video where being stuck within there, chained up, barely eating food, knowing that it was poisoned, and he sacrificed himself to allow the Future Foundation to get into the system. He sacrificed himself. He ate some good rice. It killed him in the process just to save us all. This man had such a phenomenal sacrifice, and it's so amazing how much he has grown from Danganronpa Another one, because he really did try his absolute best. And for him to go like this, it saddens my heart, man, to be put in a second game and die in the process after all the hell he's went through. Especially since what's also cool about Teruya too is I also learned that I think in one of the sketches they showed that Teruya was the middle person of Rei and Tsurugi. So if they had problems in the foundation, he was the middleman that was trying to alleviate the situation, which allowed the Kizuragi Foundation to go longer, because the Kizuragi Foundation would not have been as long as it was without his personal help, because it would have been always Tsurugi and Rei always bickering all the damn time. And it's sad, bro. It's so sad for him to leave, man. I just can't. I really can't. God, Teruya is so awesome. And he's one of those goated characters where you just sit there and you think to yourself like, oh my God, the amount of times that he was looking up stocked items and they helped in the trial because he always checked all inventory, or he always was trying to research and looked around just to understand the situation. Like, I love him, bro. I love Teruya. It's crazy. I cannot thank Teruya enough for all of his hard work. I mean, his death, they did say it went in vain, but if it wasn't for him and his sacrifice, Mikado would not be dead today. I truly believe without Teruya doing what he did and struggling through this entire thing, we would all be gone right now. Damn, I'm just, oh, man, it hurts me so much, bro. So, yep, phenomenal. Teruya's awesome. I love that guy. Now, we have Iroha. Some might look at me crazy on how the hell is this even possible, but hear me out. Iroha is a straight S tier, and here's why. She is stupid as hell. We can all agree. She's literally a true definition of a bubblehead. But Iroha was one of the most realistic characters in the entire game. Like how I felt with in Danganronpa Another, in Danganronpa Another 1, with Teruya. Iroha basically filled the role in this game, because let me put it to perspective with you. Iroha was put in a situation. Her past was she was in 24-hour surveillance by her family because her entire family were all talented, but she was the one that wasn't as talented. So she was put in surveillance doing all these small paintings, didn't have access to do certain things, and in that sense that was hell to her because she's always in watch and can't do certain things because she didn't want to be the disgrace of the family, or the family kept her under wraps so she wasn't a disgrace to them. And then when Utsuro came around, Utsuro was able to save her out of that life where she was able to paint better, and now she's in a comfortable home. The family allowed her to do a lot more things because her paintings all look good. I mean, there was a lot of things she was going through as a kid at the time, with all these guards that were always watching her while she's painting, and probably, I don't know if she had child abuse or or was abused as a child or whatever, but that's also valid. So like, Now you're put in this situation of like, okay, Utsuro died. You don't want to go back to that hellish past of being 24 hours watched all the time, right? So she joins this plan of Mikado, and now you go from being a literal painter to now saying, yeah, I have to kill because if you don't, then you'll go right back and revert right back to your past again. Now for her, it's a scary time, because how does someone like logically at her age sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be able to do this? And it's like, not many people can stomach that reality. It's honestly valid to her that she wasn't able to do the killings, because even though, because she was supposed to be the chapter 2 killer, right? Or the goal was, Hajime was chapter 1, Iroha was supposed to be the chapter 2 killer, but Iroha was so scared of everything in the situation that she just tried to find ways to put more blame and prolong the situation, where like, I know she was happy as hell when Emma did the killing the Kokoro because it gave her another life. Then when we went to chapter 3, she was supposed to do that, but instead she couldn't, and luckily Kanade was just getting so fed up with Setsuka that she ended up getting her, which in the sense that also gave Iroha relief. And then we go to chapter 4, and then she's talking to Nikei and saying, Nikei, it's really your turn. Even though I didn't do my turn in chapter 3, really, we shouldn't digress away from the plan that we already had set up. And Nikei was not having that shit. And so it's just so insanely realistic with her. Like every despair moment, she's just scared. And that's also another reason why in chapter 4, that when she pushed off Sora, it was such a sloppy plan, because at that time she was just really too scared. Like, who can sit there and stomach and say, yeah, I'm gonna be able to do this for the betterment of hope of getting back this luck? Mind you, you're also going to die in the process, and you're not even sure if you're going to come back to life in the process. Like, how can you stomach that in? And so her being a scaredy cat this entire game, and her being a bubblehead this entire game, was honestly one of the most realistic things about Iroha. I love Iroha to absolute death. Even after, I'm telling you, that chapter 3 reveal where she ended up being the third void killed my soul, and I was looking at her different, I still appreciate very much how welly done Iroha was, because in a situation like that, with everything that was going on, how could you tell me and say that is not realistic of her to not want to do any of this? I mean, I'm being so honest, like, it's hard to stomach that in. It really is hard to sit there and say, yeah, I'm just gonna kill just for the betterment of Mikado's plan. Like, it was so hard. And then all it took for this to happen, and even then she was, scared shitless during the time, was when Mikado had set it up to where he set up the entire plan in chapter 5 just to be able to allow Iroha to be able to try and kill, and she even failed in that too, because she was that scared. And I mean, obviously, Mikado had that all played out and laid out, and it just was a crazy. But I will say her skills was a phenomenal too, cause bro, to this day, that chapter 5 where Iroha did trick art, even though Mikado came up with the plan, that was one of the most smartest concepts I've ever seen in my entire life from her. Even though she didn't come up with that, the fact that she executed that work flawlessly and made the entire area look like it was it was just part of the scene. Like, it's amazing. Iroha is truly so phenomenal, man. I loved a lot. I loved a lot of things about Iroha, and I loved how awesome she was, with the fact that, by awesome I mean like, she literally had so many funny moments. I couldn't stop laughing at her with her bobblehead self. But also just like, the realism of her is something you cannot ignore. You cannot ignore that, because it's like me telling you right now, like, let's say you're in a hellhole right now. I'm just looking at you, and I told you, you have to kill somebody knowing that your life is gonna go and we don't know what the future holds. How can you sit there and look me in the eye and say, I'm gonna do it? Unless you were in the depths of hell, which that's why I really truly understand Hajime and Emma very much, because they were in a situation where it was like, I'm going to die anyway, so I might as well, right? With Iroha, it's entirely different. It does the same principles, does not revolve around her. And it just, oh God, I love her character. I love Iroha's character. I mean, I'm telling you, you can't tell me different with her. She's truly S. I'm sorry. Yeah, Iroha, I don't know how you do it, but you're just, like I said, and it's still crazy because she ended up being, faking out and being a queen of despair at the hands of Syobai and she got away with so much shit. She's still amazing to me. Truly amazing. Wonderful job. Next we have, Yoruko. You already know what time it is. No, you don't. You just know. You already know what the hell I'm writing. Go here, queen. Change the color. Boom. Queen. Boom, baby. That's it right there. Yoruko, I cannot tell you how much I love the hell out of Yoruko in this entire game. That was a different level of support that nobody else here could have done for me. Truly, queen status 1000%. She is literally one of the most phenomenal characters of all time. I'm dead serious when I say this. She is everything I love about her. She was my rock, my soul within this entire game. I'm dead ass. Like, every time she was there, she was always supporting me every fucking step of the way. She was way smarter than I expected her to be. I'll be honest with you. She knew her stuff. And it was the absolute fact that after everything, even after I went out of my way and told her, because this is one of my favorite moments of all time, I went out of my way and told her about my stuff with me being a Kanade and all the horrors I did, and she was like, no, you have faced the reality of a Kanade, but you are you, Sora. This is the name that was given to you by Yuki. You can use that. It's not exact, but you basically get the whole gist of it. Like, you can change that outcome. The same results does not have to happen, like, with you. Just because of something that's happened in the past, that does not mean you have to carry that thing over to what you are doing right now. When she was supporting me in that aspect of letting me tell her my truth, I mean, I was already skyrocketed in love with her, but oh my God, it was insane. Like, every single thing with her was fucking phenomenal. It was dead ass flawless. This is a queen to the absolute pinnacle, peak, highest degree, to the point, bro, I was scared when she almost tried to kill Yuki. Thank God that didn't go through. Oh my God, her fucking adult design. Oh, if she wasn't, because I'll be real, let's know, we all know she lesbo. Come on now, let's be real. But if she wasn't, marrying her on the spot, I promise you, me, adult Yoruko, we're walking to the sunset. But Sora, yeah, you I mean, she's all yours. I mean, I'm literally, and Sora was a tease the entire game doing all that stuff with her. But I'm telling you, like, Yoruko is everything I love about within a character. Nobody else I can think of in that highest degree magnitude has ever supported me and been my rock since the entirety of this game. And it's so funny, she was doing all that for me, and Sora was a fucking AI. That's what's even more funny, but still, or an algorithm, but still, you get the whole gist of it. Like, there's nothing bad I can say about her. I'm so dead ass. There's not a single thing I can say bad about Yoruko. Well deserved, queen status all day long. Nobody can change my mind. Can't tell me different. I mean, I love her. I love her to death. It's just as clear as day. There's nothing else more that I need to say about her. Truly, I mean, like, what else can I say? For real, like, perfect, a perfect character for me. Truly. All right, so I got that out the way. Next we have Monocrow. Monocrow, I'm going to put right beside Yuri, because obviously, you know, Yuri was the one that created Monocrow. But I like this character. I liked our headmaster, Monocrow. It's actually funny how Monocrow was literally a program made by Yuri, and Monocrow's actual name is Yuri as the AI program, and freaking Yuri's his father, or Monocrow's father is Yuri. But it's just insane. Like, He was just only there and was abused by Mikado and was only used for the New World program to set up this killing game. But in reality, he was always a good person from the jump. Just his program got messed up. He got set up in a way, and still he played his role flawlessly. You know, he played his role fantastic, like to set everything up, to watch over us and stuff. So it was very cool to see Monocrow help us even after everything that was in the game. So like knowing that plot twist about him being actually a good person and Yuri creating him was actually crazy. But I loved Monocrow. I really did love Monocrow. One of the first times like where, you know, how Monokuma is like it's like whatever, you know, or other animatronics that are just evil, you're like whatever. But I love Monocrow and how he set up, like how he was, even though he was abused by Mikado and was used for the killing game, he's still in his own right. Once his program was all fixed up or whatever, I loved how he tried to help us, explain everything to us just to prepare us for that final game against him and that final trial. And yeah, I think Monocrow is super cool. I really liked him as our headmaster. Very good bird. Very good crow. My fault. Very good crow. All right. So now we are on to trash ass real life Mikado. Go ahead and make another one. We're just stacking. Worse than Mitch. Mikado, garbage. And here's my reasonings. This character literally was one speck. All it took was one speck of him being in an orphanage. He got saved by Utsuro. And ever since then, he's been on an absolute embezzlement spree, stealing funds, doing all types of diabolical shit just to try to see him again, and saying it in the worst way, Master Utsuro. Who the fuck cares? Like, it's crazy how he went through this to re-meet him again. I mean, just because, like, he got saved and then he was like, I need to see this luck again. I must have it. Oh my God, I must have this luck. I must figure this out. That is insane, because he got saved. Then, oh my, don't even get me started where he made matters worse, where he literally said, just to re-see him again, he literally went out of his way and started a second fire. What kind of diabolical nonsense do you have to do just to see another person and kill a whole entirety of kids again just to re-see him? Are you fucking kidding me? That is ridiculous. I mean, that's just, yo, this guy is absolute human utter garbage. Truly utter garbage. Actually, shoot, I think I'm doing Mitch a disservice, and I can't stand this man, bro. But yeah, that's right. It should be utter trash. Utter trash. Like, just straight up, you are just beyond, you're just beyond saving, bro. All this to just try to re-meet up with Utsuro again. Absolute garbage to the highest degree. You can't tell me no different, for real. Like, I can't. And then after, to join along with the bin, now we're at the real Kokoro. The IRL Kokoro. Her memories got wiped out coming to the game, but her real personal self put her in the fucking utter trash as well. This is a garbage human being as well. Kokoro literally spent Mikado's money to do more research to figure out ways on how to find Utsuro, but on top of that, to allow her to do more research on how to get the primitive emotion. She diabolically went out of her way to literally figure it out, because she learned it at an early age. But it's like, because like her high school self felt like she knew that, like, at some time, because at first in the free time event when I had with the Kokoro in the game, she was like, yeah, you can find the primitive emotion. My way is to find the primitive emotion is to lock newborn babies. That shit was insane already when she said that, but I felt there was a way that she could change. This Kokoro literally pulled that into full fruition. Man, it's stuff like that that's making me think, now that when she said that, now that when Kokoro said that at freaking the free time event, man, they're the same damn people. Fuck, they are trash. They are trash. Look, so hello, this is future me. I'm speaking to you right now because I'm not gonna lie, at the time when I changed the virtual Kokoro to utter trash, it was because I was crashing out, like, because of how because they're basically like the same people, except virtual Kokoro just doesn't have the memories of Kokoro. So at the time, in reality, this was just me crashing out this time. So just letting y'all know in advance, I truly believe still, even with everything, if you take away virtual Kokoro in the game, she is truly an S tier character. And I believe that if, let's say she did for some odd reason, right, ever met Emma in the future or something like that, they really could have been good friends, and I would assume that she would not have been as diabolical or as doing crazy tests as she would have back then. So I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. In this tier list is gonna show her as utter trash because I was crashing the fuck out, but in reality, I still believe that virtual Kokoro is an S tier character and the IRL Kokoro is utter fucking trash no matter what. So that's just me clearing up that, like, the change of moment was because I was like, literally like, how the heck could she had said about testing newborn babies at her time in the free time events, and it was just like, you know what, both of them really need to be in this bin. But in reality, like, that's her way, that's her thinking, and her thinking could have always changed. Now, could someone fix her? Possibly not, but I'm thinking from the gaming perspective, she literally was helping out with the trials immensely, and she was trying her best to, even though she didn't want to associate with us, she still wanted to get the voids to come on our side before Emma crashed out and killed her. So, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Thank you for listening to my Stefan talk, and back to the video. Kokoro, all right. Just put both of them in. I'm sorry. Just that kills my soul, bro. But I fuck it. It's just making me mad just thinking about it. So Kokoro Kurokawa went out of her way. She actually was waiting for a moment. Well, at first she was going to try to get a sperm donor, but then she found out. This is the thing that actually killed me too. This is why I'm even so pissed off thinking about this. She went out of her way, and I get it. She said, I'm not going to go to a sperm donor because it's easier if I get someone that likes me, then I get married to them. Then it's easier because it'll be our kid together, even though she said it was my kid. Really, she was saying my kid for my experiment. She didn't even really care about the guy like that, for real. But because the guy liked her, she went out of her way, put up this fucking facade, found out someone liked her, and said, oh, this is perfect. I bet she was speed running that shit. They went on probably like 1 or 2 dates. She was probably moving at the speed of sound, trying to get this thing out the way as fast as possible. Or probably got married super fast, let herself get pregnant. Was probably while pregnancy, I bet she was setting up that lab, if it was not already prepped up, for the moment that Mikado would come out of her womb. And then the moment it was time for pregnancy, she was already set up in the lab, baby born, and instantly started putting a chip in her head and doing all types of tests. That is a fucking demon. No, bro, that is a demon. That's demonic, right? There is no reason that a kid should come out and be tested just so you can find out a way on how to understand emotions. That is curiosity beyond its capabilities. It's utter trash. Garbage. You all are fucking sick. Man, I'm actually sad that I put freaking Game Kokoro at the top now. I put her at S because of it, but now I'm thinking about this some more, like, holy no, bro, they're both trash. Because I forgot that she literally in the free time event was like, she's like, I don't care about my methods. Yo, they're garbage. I'm sorry. I apologize in the beginning about putting her at S because I was thinking about it from a child perspective. Fuck that. I'm sorry. Never mind. It sucks because freaking, oh my God. It's like Kokoro in the game, you don't ever think bad. It's like, so far I loved everything about her. And then all it took was fucking one scene. And I knew the free time events was insane, but I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt because maybe she wouldn't do it. But now thinking about it, I don't know. I mean, maybe if Emma, yeah, they're just, yeah, just keep them in the other trash bin, bro. I get it. It's just too much. Literally, absolute utter garbage. It's just as simple as that. I can't. Like Kokoro Kurokawa literally went out of her way and did a whole bunch of lab tests, running tests, kept the fucking chip inside Mikako's brain and all the emotions went straight to her files on the computer. Like, that shit is evil as hell, bro. Like, come on. Like, all in all, like, Mikado and freaking Kokoro, y'all both deserve each other, because y'all piss me the fuck off. Honestly, y'all piss me off. Just the thought of y'all is just so sickening. I'm done with them. All right, I'm moving on. I'm moving the fuck on before I even get more mad, just thinking about how demonic both of these two are. Okay, now that that's done, next we have Ray. Ray is an automatic S tier as well. This is why I have Ray as S tier. Ray literally was trying her absolute hardest when she first got into the game to try to get rid of this Mikado person, AI Mikado, as fast as possible. Well, she almost died in the process, which allowed her to get a failsafe. After the failsafe had, she used it and got out of there, she was like, no, we're gonna find a way to get back here. Now, mind you, time is moving faster in the freaking game world than it is in the real world, because like by the time it's only been a couple hours outside, it's been like almost a dang month or so inside the game, which is insanity, right? And then after all this, she still found some way within the time frame of within the hours to somehow get back in there to give Teruya his reset code, or gave the reset code to Sora at that time, and it just changed the trajectory of this game. And then as we get later down into the line with Ray, we literally find out, like, bro, she just could not stand Kinjo to save their life, which is like what I said. Teruya was the middleman of Ray and Kinjo, because they were always butting heads, and Ray was just tired of his shit, tired of abusing Kinjo, never providing good information to Ray. And then on top of all that, right, she was like, I'm tired of this man, I'm done with him. So when they got put back into the game because the game shutdown failed by Syobai, instantly Ray got back in there and said, fuck him, I'm going to help you guys as much as possible. And that is what I love, because she gave us valid ass information, insanely great ass information that we needed to hear. So I was in love with that moment, and I just couldn't believe it beyond belief. Honestly, truly and honestly, it was absolute peak fiction that she was able to give us all that information, help us within the trials. I love Ray, because she tried to do a lot for us. I mean, intensely, she tried to do a lot, and it felt like justice was not just getting done. So yeah, Ray's an awesome character. Loved her within the sequence of how much she's just been trying to work in SDRA2 behind the scenes to try to get us back from all the hell that we had to deal with. Amazing. All right, next we got Kinjo. Kinjo is also S, because even with everything, he was very selfish. I'll start off with that. He is part of the reason a lot of people died in this game. He's a huge part of the reason a whole lot of people died in this game. With the Ray and Teruya situation, never telling them about what they were getting themselves into. From Setsuka getting kidnapped and then using Syobai as the collaborator in secret so they could figure out how to find a Mikado, which I get it, that is pretty smart, because with the AI Mikado knowing pretty much fucking everything, he had to find a way to keep it sneakily so that he doesn't get seen while was doing a double collaboration, or having Syobai be a double agent. He did a lot of selfish things in this game that it just cannot be like saved or justified for, but it still makes sense for his character, because he wants to put justice to rest. Like he said in the trial, he will use evil with evil. In order to be able to kill a known evil, he will use evil to make sure that evil is gone. That's just how Kinjo was operating this whole time. It was making like crazy decisions that I don't agree with a lot of stuff, but that's why I think he's so intriguing, because of the fact that as a leader, he was trying to figure out what is the best possible way that we could save everyone. And if it cost a bunch of lives, but it got rid of the one meticulous evil, that's what he was willing to do, which is crazy. Tsurugi is truly insane for everything he's done, but if there's one thing I can say, is that he was trying to do everything for the betterment of the Foundation. Even if it was all bad, which it was a lot of it was all bad, he was always thinking about the team. And on top of all of this, right, I was one thing I was super happy about throughout the trial was when that man pulled out the blick and shot AI Mikado and said, yeah, I'm gonna let this thing ring. And as soon as we let that man ring, it was instantly that man was lighting up bullets in AI Mikado. I was happy as hell. It's so good to see him, and it is also crazy too how everything that transpired. Kinjo was crazy, living as long, but he's only living for so long and should be dead, but is only surviving because of Utsuro's luck was another irony. But he was willing to sacrifice himself to get rid of Utsuro just so the luck could be gone through this entire situation. Oh god, yeah, truly S tier. Truly an S-tier character. He did a lot of despicable things, but he felt he had to do all those necessity things for the betterment of society. That's what Tsurugi's mindset was throughout this whole game. And honestly, I'll have to stand by it. I can't hate him for that, even though like he did a lot of shit. I do kind of actually, in a way, I do kind of hate him for a lot of stuff he did by not telling people what he was trying to do. But hey, you know, that's what he was thinking at that time. This is the only way we're going to be able to catch Mikado is by collaborating with the evil. And that's what Tsurugi did. So, yep, that's solid. Now we got ourselves Yuki. Yuki is another S tier character. And here's why with him too. What I love so much about Yuki, he's another one in the bin of Iroha. Honestly, let me move Iroha. No, that sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but I gotta move Iroha up. But these two, bro, when I tell you every death that was happening within this game, Yuki is just a normal high school student. He does not deserve any of this. The suffering that Yuki has been involved in within this entire game is not fair in the absolute slightest. Think about it. His family all died because he had the resemblance of Utsuro. He got kidnapped because he had somewhat of a resemblance of Utsuro. There were so many things wrong with all these kidnappings that it made no sense. And all this meant was that every chapter that we kept progressing in, it got worse and worse for him. And he was trying his best to have so much hope, even with big bro side, Shinji's side. It still wasn't enough to be able to sway away every doubt that he had. And he had a lot of doubts, and it made sense. It was valid. If I'm in a killing game and I'm killing all these, or there's people killing me, and then you expect me to think, oh, after someone died, yeah, I can move on with my daily life and just be fine with it. No, I'm scared shitless. So he had so much doubt because he's like, how can I trust the next person? Or how can I trust the next person? Or how do I trust the next person? You know what I'm saying? Like, Yuki had such a realistic mindset of things that he was going into straight despair. Like, and it was so very much valid, and it was breaking him. Especially chapter 4, Nikei tried to kill him or tried to force Yuki to be the murderer, and he broke down because he's at fault, which he shouldn't be at fault, but he's at fault just because his body was a vessel for Utsuro. Like, imagine, like, that is some true despair shit that I don't even know how Yuki was still able to continue on with everything he's hearing, with everything is being said. I mean, a wonderful character, truly. Like, Yuki really is another realistic character that I see with everything that happened within this game, suffering more than anybody else. That's another thing that was also insane about this game. Yuki's entire body that Mikado did with it. He only maintained the brain and got rid of every other body piece that he had. Can you imagine how fucking ridiculous that is? That is insane. Bro, how do you have any type of hope after that? It's crazy. Oh my goodness. And all this because he was a vessel of Utsuro. The worst luck. He's called the ultimate lucky student. I call it the worst luck in history. Like, what the fuck is that? Man, I'm sad for him, for real. Like, he went through so much trial and tribulations, even to the point to where he was telling off Kinjo as well. He did not deserve this. I truly believe he did not deserve this, but was one of the most realistic people in this entire game. 100%. With everything that was going wrong, with everyone dying and trying to maintain himself, it was so hard. And it broke my heart when they had lost the trial, and oh god, man. But yeah, so yep, that's Yuki right there. Great dude for sure. Just so unfortunate. Now we get to Utsuro. So Utsuro, surprisingly, even though I called him the GOAT in my playthrough, which he kind of is still, but for this one, for the tier list, I had to think about it a little bit and I had to put him at S. Utsuro, the reason why it's S tier and is not put in the GOAT tier is because of this. Utsuro, even though he didn't do too much in this trial, because he was really just there to be revived, and then when he was revived, Mikado tried to choke him and kill him so he could take what is his. But in reality, Utsuro used all of his divine luck and transferred it to Akane Taira. That was one of the GOATest moments and one of the most crazy plot twists I ever heard in my entire life, when I heard his entire luck was gone and he was just a regular boy at that point. But it's the fact that he had the willpower to say, you know what, let me transfer this over to Akane, and that's why Akane is in a vegetable state, because of Utsuro's divine luck. It's just mind-boggling, like that he could use his talent in that way to save one of his biggest assets, which was Akane. And he did not say jack shit in that trial, but just ore farm, and that was enough for me. His presence alone is just fire. But I couldn't, not enough to say GOAT, because he, like I said, most of the other people in this, he wasn't here much this game, but man, he definitely laid up impact, like straight up, like he's just so fire. Everything about Utsuro is just so hard. I love his character so much. One of the greatest antagonists, even though he's not really an antagonist in this game, he's just here again just because of what Mikado did to him. But man, great character, man, great character. All right, now we're getting to the real hitters. Let's go and add another one. Now we're getting to the real hitters, bro. Let's see, GOATs. So now we are getting to the GOATs. Syobai, one of the greatest characters of all time. This might be one of the most efficient characters of all time. Syobai is a protag and an antagonist. He's an antagonist and a protagonist at the same time, is what it feels like. When I tell you he don't waste time, he don't waste time. He is too busy with dealing with other businesses, but when he has to step in, he steps in. Syobai literally just was keeping it all to himself every time, unless he's absolutely needed. What I find insane about Syobai is the fact that Syobai, first off, let me get this out the way. Lanuge basically was like, yeah, I was gonna get rid of him and then have him come back from chapter 6, but not. Instead, I realized I cannot continue chapter 3 without him. So he needed to bring Syobai back, which was, I'm happy that changed to where Syobai was actually needed for chapters 3, and also his efficiency in chapter 4 was absolutely so flawless. It's insane. It's crazy how much of a come up that Syobai has went through, from being someone who was thrown in the side of a street by his parents, homeless as hell, then working his way up to become some absolute broker that knows about 100 different fucking languages and is one of the most smartest intellectual people in the entire universe, and how efficient he is on everything he does is why he's so goated. The fact that Syobai, right, in chapter 3, he literally in the trial was just not saying a word. And then when everyone was on their nonsense about, damn, what the hell is Kanade doing? What can we do? Literally, he had to step in and take the fuck over. And then that takeover was a masterclass. I mean, he didn't get everything. He still had a little bit of help. I mean, he got most of it though. But this man was locked in. That's a character that locks the fuck in when he needs to. And that's why Syobai is so goated. Literally. Like, and how many double agent shit he was doing with being AI Mikado's collaborator, and on top of that also being Tsurugi's collaborator. Bro, you can name so many different things with him. Man already figured out how to get through the reset codes for chapter 4. And when we were pro tag swapped, I was so locked in. This is one of the greatest characters of all time, truly. Yeah, he's just too efficient. He really is so efficient. How fast we was getting done with shit when you play as him or take over as him, bro. Record speed, bro. It was insane. I loved everything about this character, bro. Every single aspect about him. From all the trials to all the knowledge, getting out and double and backstabbing a whole bunch of people just to make sure, as long as he gets his paycheck, He does not care where you get it from. He doesn't care how you steal the money. As long as it goes to his bank account, he don't give a damn, bro. I don't understand how they could have been created like this. I'm still in shock. I'll be dead ass with you. I'm still in absolute utter shock about him. I don't know how they did it. As long as Syobai can get monetary gain, he will do anything for himself. And it is truly amazing. What I also love about him too is even after everything we've been through, he's always about whatever side that will benefit him most. I am so happy that he took the side of staying with us after everything AI Mikado has gave to him, because this man AI Mikado is a unlimited money glitch, unlimited, right? And he said, you know something, as great as that sounds, if I went on to his side and I could always get money forever and he can fulfill his dream and his plans of taking over, I could do that. But he said, nah, don't underestimate us humans. That shit hit the soul, bro, when he literally destroyed Mikado's plan and threw that shit to the straight wind. And in the process, he got freaking arrested for that. But hey, that's how you know he's a real one, bro. That's a real ass character. Damn, how did they make someone so damn good? I promise you, like, Syobai literally is one of, like, he's just too good. He's just too goated. He's too goated. Yeah, I love everything about Syobai, man. Love everything about Syobai. His tendencies, his selfishness, how he was playing for himself the entire way through and didn't care about nobody and only intervened when he needed to. Truly, honestly, that was a masterclass performance by him. I'm telling you. Syobai is one of the greatest characters of all time, and no one can tell me different. All right, so Syobai is out the way. Now we get to, this is now AI Mikado. I already talked about regular Mikado was trash, even though it was his plan, but AI Mikado is so fucking goated. Oh my goodness. This AI was so insane that he took real Mikado's bum ass plan and said, I'm gonna show you how we can get this done efficiently. But let's start from the beginning, right? First off, the concept of Mikado, of him, phenomenal antagonist. He literally started off the game and I was like, oh, we knowing the mastermind straight off rip. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this shit gonna work, right? And then he placed and planned all these 4 voids, which we didn't know at the time. And I'm sitting here like, how are we gonna progress with anything with no motives? And literally the voids killing everybody was the motives. And I thought to myself, oh my God, that is insane. Like, there was so many thought processes about this and everyone else was in such a terrible predicament because the voids basically, they all knew each other and they knew what they had to do. And it was so sad, but the plan that Mikado brought up for this was all meticulous. He is a phenomenal antagonist, bro. From chapter 1, using Hajime and saying, yeah, like for starters, Hajime kills somebody. He's like, oh, it's very nice, Mr. Makinochi. You know, you're gonna have to go. You know, it's part of the plan. And he's thinking like, oh, these voids are gonna betray him, right? No, because they're all scared shitless as well because it was all doomed. And then chapter 2 with Emma, then chapter 3 there was no void and he was pissed off at Iroha because of it. But it was like he was playing everything his part, using Nikei also for the whole Tower of Babel, let all that shit happen, even let himself get beat up just for the ending of the plan. Like, I'm still crazy about how this man Nikei had a loaded weapon, shot that shit, it blew up his fingers, and Mikado knew that shit off rip because he was like, yo, I have divine, like, the divine luck here is not gonna allow you to ruin the plan. Like, it's freaking crazy, bro. And in chapter 5 he won the trial only to lose because Syobai had fucking betrayed him. I mean, really, he was too goated and he had everything meticulously planned out. This freaking AI was insane. And then to make all matters crazier, which I thought was just beyond crazy, beyond belief of anything else, he literally killed his own self. He killed the real person IRL just to proceed with the plan, using Syobai as the collaborator for that to happen. Do you know how insane you have to be? And that's why I think he's so goated, because you're like, how do I have this man real Mikado as utter trash and then the AI Mikado as goated? It's because AI Mikado took real Mikado's bum ass plan and turned that thing into fruition. He even looked at the plan so much and was like, yeah, this shit gonna fail. I'm gonna take over and show you how it's done. And he was really going through, and all the simulations he was doing, bro, it was all working to a freaking T, bro. I'm telling you, this character, oh my god, no one can tell me different. Like, AI Mikado is so insane. He's so insane. An antagonist, one of the greatest antagonists ever. The demonic sprites he was having, the moments he was having, like when everything was falling into fruition, it just can't get better than that. I'm telling you, it can't get better than that. Truly, I don't know how he was I mean, he was an AI, so I know he knows everything, but golly, all the planning he did to get to this point is just what made this all so much more insane. So I can't say anything more bad about, you know, I mean, obviously Mikado was evil as fuck, but honestly, like the evilness that he caused for all this to go into fruition, and literally was so close to winning, and only reason he lost was because he truly, I mean, how would anyone expect that fucking Utsuro would pass on divine luck over to Sora? Crazy. Oh my goodness. Wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. All right, so yep, Mikado's there. Then now we have Sora. Sora, add another one to the mix. Truly one of the greatest protagonists of all time. To be brought into this game, mind you, as an algorithm. Now, we didn't know that at the time that she was an algorithm, but she was made up from Akane Taira's dead brain molecules that the game was able to somehow scrounge up and make Sora because it was straight, her head was straight empty, but somehow they found some data to bring Sora to life, and Sora is so goated. I'm telling you, one of the greatest protags ever. Like, that's the crazy thing. Do I even need to say more about Sora though? Like, she's just so insane. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy how well written she is though. Truly such a well written character. The amount of sarcasm that she provides, the amount of awareness that she has within the game, phenomenal, right? And this is all just an algorithm. That's what's one of the most key moments within this entire thing is the fact that, like, in chapter in chapter 4, literally the moment I'm sitting here and I swapped over to Syobai, I was losing my damn mind. And I'm sitting here like, why the hell did we do a protag swap? And I thought it was just because Sora had died, but in reality it was because Sora took freaking Nikei's hand when freaking Yuki had stabbed Shinji, and then took Nikei's hand herself and stabbed Shinji, just so it made it seem like Nikei was the one that used his hand to kill Shinji, which in turn, thank God it was a suicide, but still, it was one of those like, wow, I cannot believe that she went out of her way to do that at that time. What are the damn odds? That is crazy, right? I mean, I would have never expected that from a protagonist, honestly. Truly was a sight to see. And it's amazing how much she like broke down and everything, especially when we got to the Akane scenes, and then you're seeing like sit there like, what was all this for? Was this all for nothing? When Mikado had revealed her truth and everything, and she was still working her way to try to betterment herself, thanks to Akane trying to help fight this thing through it with her, that hey, just because, you know, we've done bad in the past, but that doesn't mean your future is gonna be that same way. So she locked the fuck in, got so insane within that final chapter 6, and then got us the fuck gone, bro. And putting all the trust in Syobai that he would, you know, type in the right passcode, which was a guess because she took over divine luck and then dipped out. Like, insane. And I still don't know. I don't believe. I think Sora and Yuki mixed together to make up in Akane's body, but hey, you know. So I think she's out, but man, I cannot say any more crazy how great of a character Sora was. I mean, I truly am thankful that we had such a phenomenal protagonist. Honestly, I still am mad at her that she said that freaking Yoruko was just a friend to her, and I was pissed the fuck off at that moment. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good. Other than that, we're good. Just, man, what a wonderful fucking character. Wonderful character. All right, before we get to this, let's go ahead and do these last 4 real quick before I get to this absolute demonic demon at the very end. All right, so Midori, didn't see her much. Is glad to see she's doing pretty well. I got her at B tier. Glad she doing well. She tried to almost sacrifice herself in that epilogue, and I was not having that because Ryutaro would have went crazy. So Midori there. Minako, yo, at one moment, right? And there was no tier list for any of these characters at one point, but like in DRA, I thought she was utter trash in freaking DRA 1 with her attitude and her personality, but damn, bro, when she got the lollipop, she stopped smoking, and I mean, she looking real good, and what she wearing right now, I mean, I'm just saying. So I have to put her at B tier as well. She changed my ways immensely, you know, looking real nice. I cannot lie. I fucks with her heavy now. I can't believe she changed my ways from all the nonsense I dealt with her in DRA 1 to see her now in DRA 2 be a changed woman is crazy. Ryutaro, solid B tier as well. Man was, you know, trying to do his due. He knew Kinjo's ways were so wrong, and he did not like anything of that magnitude. What is all this for if you're just gonna keep sacrificing people? Man's a good dude, and he's like, what am I doing all this for? He questions himself, but yeah, Ryutaro is a cool guy. And then finally Keisuke, I cannot believe this. I have to put him at C because, bro, he changed my way immensely. Like the one I knew him in DRA 1, he went in his evil Kinjo ways in DRA 2. I was like, hell no, that man. The way he was talking and operating, I was like, yo, if this man becomes the leader, we're so cooked. Oh my goodness, that would have been Kinjo 2.0 to the highest degree. So yeah, and now we are finally at this absolute demonic pure ass demon, and honestly, this is gonna be crazy. Might be crazy to some people, but you're gonna have to listen out and hear me why I'm doing this. So here's what I'm gonna say right now. Let me talk about the character first before I get to the human traits. This is the goat among all goats. Kanade is the highest of top tiers ever. When I tell you, let me break this down for you. From the very jump of this game, I already had a problem when she said she was in the corpse party as her favorite anime. Off rip right there, I knew shit was going to go down, but I was still fucking with her. Her roasting abilities is immensely insane. Honestly, she don't take no shit from no one besides Hibiki. But man, when I tell you Kanade should not have been cooking the way she was cooking, it was insane. And this is why she is the most goated character ever. It took three, Syobai, Mikado, and fucking Sora, on top of the divine luck of the remaining cast of freaking Nikei and Iroha. It took that much just to stop one person from this freaking trial 3. To this damn day, I cannot believe that there is someone as amazingly well written as fucking Kanade. I can, thinking about this from the jump. She has been thinking about a murder plan since the announcement was announced. Anytime Hibiki got the slip of a tongue, she would always be questioning, because she's like, why is she giving that information? Because she doesn't want nobody to know any of her meticulous mindset. She really mapped out and planned everything from the moment we got the case 1 to the moment we got the case 2, and played the absolute long haul of the game by bringing out crucial information to build her trust, just for the shit to happen the way it did in chapter 3. And think about it of this magnitude too. How the hell does she have the ability from the start to the end? She was able to make it be about her own sister doing the crime, to then Syobai calling out that BS and then pinning it on her to do the crime. Then she contradict that by saying, oh, you know something? Let me go ahead and tell you that the fingerprints, I can't have that. That threw off Syobai immensely. Then she was able to throw them off again by saying it was Iroha, because Iroha was left-handed. Iroha, Kanade had enough amputed time to cut up the body in a meticulous way, but made it so pre-planned in advance that it made it seem like anybody can do it, because Syobai said you need at least 2.5 something hours to do it, and she made sure to cover for all that. She somehow woke up super early to make sure Iroha's drink was drugged, even though Sora's drink was drugged, and then Setsuka ruined the plan a little bit by making Sora leave the room so she couldn't see who actually drank the drink, which she was assuming that Iroha drank the drink, right? And she wouldn't have been available, to making Iroha go somewhere else entirely so she didn't have no alibi, to where Mikado had to go out of his way and object and defend for freaking Iroha for that moment, to now we wrap this thing right back over to Kanade, but don't even understand how to figure out how the hell she was able to do this and move the body parts from the pool all the way to the freaking ghost house, and then to find out she has the absolute basketball precision 100% from the field to throw every single 10 body parts or 8 body parts, I believe, into the thing. On top of that, she used the freaking dolls inside of this freaking room that came out, Sasuke dolls that were used in the parade, just to be able to move the body pieces in time, just to be able to make sure to use freaking Hibiki to be able to be disguised as Kanade to account for the time frame for when she was throwing the body pieces. I mean, I could literally go on all fucking day. I'm telling you, that is too much planning beyond planning of any character. And she had to get 5v1 and still honestly won, and she only lost because of a fucking algorithm, multitudes of divine luck, and Syobai, with Mikado there for his one time he did objection because he found out that freaking Iroha was actually where she was needed to be. Like, how freaking insane do you have to be able to meticulously plan all that shit the fuck out and do that? And then what makes matters even worse, even after all that, and you're sitting there like it's game over, whatever, right? Like I said, the algorithm had found out that, boom, she actually did something else more devious than we would have thought. And that's why she had got rid of the abdomen, because we didn't even know that she ended up using both her and Hibiki to do an exact time murder, using that 0.00001% chance that this person was gonna die, and it was so accurately proficient that it was just insane that we had to throw that shit out there. And then that's what helped Sora's loss of tingliness she was feeling when it was just the AI saying we got to progress this fucking game, which, oh my god. So really, Kanade won that entire fucking trial. Even though we won, really she won. That was crazy, literal insane, right? And then to add more matters worse, when we finally get to why she did this, no, she did this shit for the love of the game for Hibiki. No, dead ass, like she did that for the love of Hibiki. Out of the most craziest shit ever. You're like, motive videos? Man, I don't give a fuck about those damn motive videos. I came here just for Hibiki. I don't care about any of you other people, bro. And she was diabolically dropping people off, from dog abuse to killing freaking teachers to killing best friends, all the managers, a body count of fucking 60. I mean, this woman is fucking insane, but she's that fucking good. Bro, she is so fucking smart and so insane that you just have to put her in the GOAT tier. One of the greatest antagonists of all time, literally. Now, I will be honest with you. For the people that are probably sick to their stomach after me calling Kanade the GOAT, here's what we really can't say about her though. As a human being, let me tell you how bad she is. Let me show you how bad she really is. How many new ones I make? Utter trash, garbage. Garbage, hell, super hell. Okay, this is going too far. Wait, it's still going. so I can show you how bad this really is. Is this person that demonic? When does it end? This might be the abyss. All right, yeah, that's enough. I don't need to do all that. Okay. So where Kanade is at, right? She's literally as a human being all the way down here. All the way. I'm telling you, there is nobody else that can tell me as a human being that she deserves to live in any capacity. This woman does, like, this is one of those characters where I'm dead serious when I say this. She should have never been born at all. No way. You know, like, when I mean by, like, if there was a way to genetically know how demonic someone was gonna be, they would have said, no, kill her on the spot right now. We cannot let her grow up. It sounds bad, but I'm so serious. Like, this character is so insanely garbage, beyond garbage of hell, that it's like, yo, this character is demonic. There is no saving her beyond any comparison. And it kills me to say that, because as an antagonist, Kanade is the GOAT. You have to tip that off because of how well written she was, for real. And the fact there was a moment where she was going to be a timid person is still insane to me. There was a route where she could have been timid. I don't know how in the world that would have worked out if she ended up being a shy person. So the way she is now is it was so phenomenal for the story. But in human terms, I can't even see her. Like, this is basically it, and I couldn't, and you just have to keep her in that super bottom. As her as a character, right? Hold up. Actually, for her as a character, there's where she's at, right? And then as for the hell moment, gotta add this real quick. But for her crazy self, boom, this is where the true demon needs to be. That's the true demon right there. Oh my goodness, that is so insane how insanely crazy she is, and no one can tell me different. Oh, as a human being, garbage, beyond garbage. There's nothing else you can tell me different. But as a character, goated, straight up, straight the fuck up. No cap. And honestly, this is right here, my tier list. Wow. I know this was a pretty long one. Sorry that I made it longer than it needed to be. I probably didn't get everything I wanted to say. I mean, there was a lot I could impact about a lot of these characters, but it was just like my brain, man, is like, I'm so happy I got the chance to play this game. But let me give y'all a quick little, I want to do, the video's not over yet because I did do this tier list. Like I said, so this is everybody. And then the hellish Kanade, the real demon down there. So right here. Yep, that's how the tier list is looking. Insane. Oh my goodness, like this, yo, I'm telling you, I mean, Kanade could not have made this any more ridiculous than it needed to be, but she did. It honestly crazy, absolutely crazy. But yep, so that's it for there. And what I'm going to do real quick, because I know someone did talk about it, I said, you know what, I might as well throw in a little extra for y'all, you know, for thanking y'all for even watching this far so far. All right, so here's a little extra bonus for y'all. I'm giving y'all a quick little another bonus one. So this is also what I'm about to do real quick is because someone asked about it and I was like, I might as well throw it in with the SDRA2 video. So because by this time, I'm pretty sure if you watch SDRA2, you should have watched DRA1 by now. I hope you have. I mean, you really, to me, I feel like you cannot watch the second game without knowing the context of the first game, regardless of how tough it is. But you know, I digress. Regardless, here's a quick tier list of my favorite trials of all time. So let's start off with trial number 1. Trial 1 in DRA. I think it was a solid, and I loved everything. So honestly, I don't see anything really. Let me do this really. All right, so we'll start off by like, this is the start of the breaking point. I'll say this one was a solid C. Yeah, nothing's gonna be a D or an F. I had no trials that were like that, so we'll just make it like this. So start off, it was a pretty good trial. We kind of got the idea with what Mitch was doing within that trial. I thought it was a very nice trial for sure. A good way to warm you up into getting into the process of the DRA universe. I mean, I like that trial for what it's worth, for sure. Definitely a nice cool concept of how, you know, Mitch had did the murder or whatever, so I had got it on my C tier. No, it's not bad. No way in shape or form is it bad. It's just one of those that's like, I'm ranking, it's basically best to worst ranking, basically best to worst, and the worst is not even the worst. It's still good, because yeah, that's what I have it as. Ayame's, oh my god, this was so goated, bro. The concept of what they use with Ayame, when Ayame had freaking took over what freaking Akane did to freaking Kazuna, just to be able to save her life, knowing she was demonic in advance because of divine. I cannot believe this. That still is insane. That's such a phenomenal trial. That second trial was so S tier, bro. Oh my god, that was so S tier. It's crazy. And then next one is this one. I have 3 above 2. Wonderful trial. Oh my goodness. It hurt my soul every time, because Inori, one of the worst deaths ever, and Kokoro, he tried to save Kanade's life and freaking died in the process, and freaking Uehara was like, Kinji was like, bro, it's too late. Love that trial a lot. Very nice trial. Then we get to chapter 4. This trial will go down in the fucking history books ever. Oh my goodness, ever. Like, trial was insanity. Oh my god, this shit here with Satsuki, the thing that her and Haru did will always go down in the history books. Legendary. Oh my god, trial was so fucking cinema. Damn, everything that she did, outing herself but let everybody talk it through. One of the saddest trials of all time, but one of the greatest trials of all time. It's just that simple. Next we go on to Kurokawa's. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have to put it at least at I feel like it should have been a B, but I'll give it an A, mainly because I know that trial really was mainly a setup to get Kurokawa gone, which is still sad to this day, to get Mikado gone, because that was the whole purpose of the freaking ultimate despair Kane was trying to aim for, on top of Utsuro, which he wasn't Utsuro at the time, but yeah, like they wanted her gone and she was disrupting the peace. So the setup of it made this turn to be an A trial once you find out the that Akane Taira was the mastermind at that time, which was crazy, right? And then this trial, oh my fault, this was when Utsuro came out to be, yeah, that trial was, bro, as soon as you turn into Utsuro, that shit was cinema. Oh my god, that shit was cinema. It's not enough to make me put it at S+ tier, only because of, it's something about that Satsuki trial that just hits so different to this day. Now, don't get it twisted, Utsuro trial was goated, but it's just that it's the Satsuki trial hits so fucking sad every time. So I had to put that there. Now we get to the DRA2 trials, and I'll tell you right now, love that the Hajime concept. Hajime's concept, yep, that one right there is definitely a solid A tier. It was a great setup to a trial. Love that shit a lot, right? After that, like, to get Yuri and how the mechanism was used to pull his ass up or whatever, yeah, I mean, great, wonderful trial. Then chapter 2 trial right over that one, so that one goes over, bro. Come on, man, you cannot tell me that shit was not hard. Even though you find out a little bit early about like who it is, but how she did it, I was like, wait, that's kind of cool, man. Wait, that's actually, bro, I thought it was cool. I like that. Definitely did like that a lot. Let's see, who else is it? Then after that, you have to add another one for this one. Now, this one, I think, oh shit, didn't mean to do that. Okay, that's what I meant to do. So add a row above. Greatest of all time. It goes down to this 100%. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, to this day, that is my number one most video. Part of the reason could be that, yeah, it was because of English dub, but I think the amount of twist and everything that was played into this trial and every concept that was played into this trial will always put this trial as one of the greatest of all time. It's just that simple, literally. I mean, you literally can't tell me different. I'm telling you, it was so fucking goated, insane, right? It was just clear as day. From the fact that it was, and I've already said it, but I'm just reiterating it again, Hibiki accused to Kanade accused to Iroha accused back to Kanade, just to find out it was a freaking, that was like the fifth contradiction. There was like 5 different contradictions with contradictions on top of contradictions that were all getting, it's just too goated, bro. Too goated. Setup was too amazing. All in all, phenomenal trial. This trial hit different in the books. Chapter 4, the fact that Sora like played a hand in this and we changed the Syobai, and Nikei's plan to try to get rid of Mikado, fucking insanity. Oh my god, that was so insanity. Truly a phenomenal trial, right? Now you have this one I have to, it's crazy. I have to put this above chapter. Now, me personally, right? Some are just like, well, you could put 4 should be above. I mean, you could say that. You could say 4 and 5 are literal interchangeable for me personally, because it's not the fact that, yeah, it's only 5 people left and it's the setup. It was the fact that Iroha used her damn trick art to allow this thing to be set up in that way, just for us to go through all that and we lose the trial. I thought, to me, that was freaking insanity. But I mean, yes, you could do, you could argue that like they're kind of like, dude, to make me feel better, I cannot lie, now that I'm thinking about this more, okay, we're gonna put this here because I'm thinking about it, right? I think it actually goes 4 and then 5 for me. I think it goes 3, 4, 5, and then 2, 1 for SDRA 2. And then I gotta put greatest of all time. I gotta put at least one. I gotta put this chapter up here with it as alone. I'm sorry. Now I'm thinking about it some more, bro. I'm sorry. That Satsuki trial was just insane. Oh my god. I'm sorry. It was just too insane. Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better. And then finally, to end this off, chapter 6 was just an S+ tier. Right here, because Mikado's plan was crazy as fuck. Everything he set up to get to this point was so crazy. So honestly, because I don't like that empty space, because this was not a bad trial, really. I'll put that at B and just delete this. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. So yep, that is my tier list for all the trials, literally. So basically, Super Danganronpa Another 2 Chapter 3 trial, one of the greatest of all times. And then for DRA, Danganronpa Another 1 Chapter 4, greatest of all time, personally. This is all personal basis, right? Then you get to the S+ tiers. You got the SDRA Chapter 6, then Chapter 4, then Chapter 5. I could see that because a lot can say 4 and 5 to me are literally, you can interchange those at any freaking given time, for real. Then you get to the finding out the culprit and finding out about Utsuro, DRA 1 Chapter 6, Chapter 3, and Chapter 2, all wonderful. Then you get to A tiers for the chapter SDRA 2 Chapters 2, Chapter 1, and then Chapter 5 of that game. And then the first chapter of DRA was like a solid B. It was a neutral zone game chapter that was a good ass setup, but all in all, phenomenal. So I think at that moment, that is it from me. Thank you guys for being patient and waiting on my tier list. So like I said here, tier list for this is my tier list for the trials, and then this was my tier list for the entire thing. Long story short, as a human, she's fucking terrible, but really it's literally this. So really, this is the, yeah. So honestly, really, this is the tier. So this is the tier list for the SDRA 2. Basically, and at the very depths of hell is, you know, Kanade as a character goated, but Kanade as a human being absolutely garbage, basically. So yeah, that is it. And I do appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching this entire video. I do really appreciate it so much. Now I think that is everything that I've done for SDRA 2. Just know that it's not over yet, because the only thing that's left over now is we have 3 more English dubs to go. God knows when those are coming out, because I'll be honest with you, if it took 3 years for chapter 3, expect it to be a long time for chapters 4, 5, and 6. Let's be honest. I expect a long time. So that's one thing. And then secondly, what's left now too after so there's those trials that need English dub, and when those come out English dub, I will be straight front row and center working to get those out as soon as possible. If I hear even the closest that it gets close to dropping, everything stops and I'm locking straight the freak in to get those out as soon as possible for the gang. So that's one thing, right? And then on top of that, there's these omake, I think you say OMAKE, I'm probably saying it, omake mode videos that Lanuge had showed like a quick little snippet that those are supposed to be coming soon. So I will talk about those, and whenever those release and come out, I don't know if I'm gonna grab the Google Doc and just read it myself, or if I'm gonna wait for someone to make a video, translate it, and then it all depends, because like I'm assuming they're gonna already be translated, so maybe I could just read the doc and go along with you guys while reading that. So we'll see. But other than that, I do appreciate all your guys' hard work's effort, and I thank you so much for watching all of my videos and watching all of the series. I hope you had an absolute blast. I hope you enjoyed this tier list. It was one for the books. So thank you very much for your time, and I do hope to see you all in all my next journeys, because from here on now it's just me playing different fangans and YTTD, and there could be some other games in the mix, because like I said, my goal is not to make this all about Danganronpa. I want to try to diversify myself so like you guys could also like other shit, but I mean right now we just on a roller coaster, so we'll see. But other than that, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you did appreciate this video, and later.